All right. Hey Bromies, it's your boy Ricky here, and today I am finally showing you the craft room. You've been asking me for 5 years, do a tour, do a tour, do a tour. Well, it's finally appropriate to do a tour, and I'm going to do that for you today. So let's get started. The first thing I want to let you know is that I have been crafting for about 5 to 6 years, so the amount of things and items that you see in this room is because I've been doing it for so long. Secondly, I do work on teams, so I get sent a lot of things. So I don't want you to think that you have to have all this or that it's required to do your art, because it's not required. And third, just be nice in the comments. Try not to be like mean, because I don't like it. And it's just, you know, it's not nice. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. Okay, so the first area we're going to look at is where I store the stamps. Previously, I don't know if you saw the craft room, but I had open shelving over here on this wall, and it was a hot mess. Could not handle it anymore. I had gotten too much stuff. It could not fit on the shelves. It was just messy. It was driving me crazy. I couldn't create. So I decided to actually place all my stamps in closed chest of drawers so that I didn't have to look at it. So what we'll do is we'll just walk through the drawers, and I'll tell you what's in them and then how I store things. And then, you know, if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments and I can totally answer them for you. So I decided to put my stamps in 2 of these IKEA chest of drawers. They're called Copangs. And originally I went to get a different version of this, but they were out of them. So I had to compromise and get this one, which in the long run was the best idea for me. So what we'll do is in this drawer is the smaller stamp sizes. So like these little guys. And what I choose to put these in are ID badges that people put their employee IDs in, or, you know, airline people and all that stuff. So I just decided to put them in this. They're small. They fit in the chest or this drawer perfectly. And then between these, I decided to cut some foam board, which keeps them all separate. This is as far as it pulls out. But what I tend to do is to look even further is I just pull it out and kind of do like a card catalog situation here. Of course, it's really empty on this side. There's a few things that I haven't gotten to yet. So I'm constantly working on this. One thing I should have said in the beginning or the introduction of this is that this room is not complete. I'm continuously changing things. It's still brand new to me. So it still requires a lot of work to get in the right flow and all that great stuff. So in the next drawers here, we have the next stamp sizes, which are these guys. I think it's 4x6, I think that's what these are. And I basically did the same thing. I am in the process of getting them put into envelopes. There are newer items that I have not done that yet, have not had time to really do it. But also the same thing, I did try to lay these down sideways to see how many I could fit in here, but it took up more room. So I did them up and down, and they fit perfectly. If I didn't have these things sticking out, it would just close. But, you know, I just kind of have to deal with that until I get it completed. But it's the same thing. I have the foam boards between, and the same thing, like it doesn't open all the way. These are kind of heavy, so if you're a person that can't handle this, you probably shouldn't use this system or have someone help you. But you can just hold it on your knee like this and then look for what you need to look for and then just put it back. The next drawer is the same thing. It's all the same stamp sizes. I just haven't put them all in envelopes yet. Still working on that. Ouch. We'll take that out. The next drawer is some more of those sizes, but then I have my 6x6 stamps here. These are not placed in envelopes yet because, again, I have not had time. Some of them are in envelopes, but this is how I store these. And I also have these divided by the little styrofoam boards here. These are actually the poster boards that you get for like science fairs. I got them at the Dollar Tree. and then I just cut them to the size they need to be, and they're perfect. Didn't want anything too expensive or anything to weigh down the chest of drawers because they're already heavy enough with all the stamps in there. All right, the next drawer. These are all the longer stamp sets. So I decided these had to go on their sides because obviously they're too tall for the drawers. So they're all on their side here. I have plenty of room for more. You know, it's actually just perfect for what I need it to be. And it stores all the stamps of that size. One thing that you guys I talked about was how to store these stamps and how it was driving me crazy. How I would have different stamp sets in different size stamp sets within the same company, and I was keeping them all together, and it was driving me insane on this shelving unit that I had. So what I decided to do is actually separate them by size and then by company. And then I'm also trying to catalog them so that when I reference one stamp and it has a matching stamp that's like a different size, then I can reference the one stamp and then go back into the other drawer and get the second stamp that's needed with that. Also down here, I have some smaller stamp sets that I put in 5x5 pockets. I could have probably put a lot of those in here, but I ran out of the sleeves, and of course, they're not being made right now because of the pandemic, so I can't get any more of them. One thing I did want to show you, actually, I was making my own sleeves by taking smaller sleeves, and I have like this heating tool. I don't know how close you can get to this, but it actually singes the end and kind of makes it like a pocket. So I was making these actually on my own. It was taking up a lot of time, and that's why I chose to go with these guys. But then I didn't know that they weren't going to be selling these anymore. So I may have to go back to doing this, which isn't bad. Actually, it's kind of perfect because it's the perfect size. But it also takes time to do that. Let's see here. All right, well, that's the end of this drawers. We'll go over to the next one. Oh, my scan and cut here. I use this to cut out some of my images if I don't have dies for. On the top here, I have my PlayStation, my iPad charging, my Nintendo Switch, my computer, all on top here of what I need. And then in the top drawer here is basically where I keep all the electronics that I use. The keyboard, the mouse, the remote for the monitor / TV. This is actually a TV here, so I actually use it as a monitor as well. And then like the Wi-Fi unit and everything is in here. Nothing too exciting. This is where I keep my mouse and my cords and my cards that I need for the videos. Then here is more of the stamps. These are the bigger sizes, and they also go on the side. Same concept with the styrofoam boards between. These actually just fit super perfect. They're pretty great. And they fit as, I mean, I could probably fit a few more in here, but the objective is not to get any more and try to get things out before I get new things or buy new things. All right, let's go to the next drawer. Here will be, let me get this. Bloopers. Here are other stamp sizes that are kind of weird. They're like in DVD boxes. They fit perfectly as well. There's these bigger stamp sets that aren't in envelopes that I have here. This is also where I keep my embossing folders. They're all here in this drawer. And yeah, these are kind of like weird sizes that I don't have packaging for, or that I don't want to make an envelope for something that's kind of too big and just, it's not worth it. Put this guy back. Here are all my dies. These are kind of a hot mess right now. I'm still trying to figure out how to store a lot of this. A lot of these are going to be converted. Oh, here's some stamps. Actually, this here is all my sentiment stamp sets. I'm in the process of adding these into the regular stamp sets. I had them separated at one time, but I'm still trying to decide. I can't let go of keeping them separated. So I'm still working on that and trying to see if that's going to work for me. Then over here, these are all word dies. So any die that's a word, I have listed here or placed in here. I will be converting a lot of these over to, like this guy, to an envelope. So you guys, I'm still trying to learn where everything is this size. So it'll take up less room, less space. This will be able to close easier. It'll just be easier to do. Then over here, these are all my shaped dies, circles, rectangles, triangles. They're all kind of mixed in there. And then over here are dies that I have not put in packaging yet, or they're for like slimline dies, or they're big dies that aren't in envelopes yet. So I'm still working on this. It's a work in progress. It's the part that's not fun about card making. No one likes to do that. All right. And then behind me, just real quick, this is one of my die cutting machines. I have it here on my radiator that I do not ever turn on because it is hot in this room. And then here is a cart that has all my pencils, my pens. You guys, these are amazing. I love them. I need about 25 more of these to house all these pencils, all these Copics that I have here. I just need like a whole shelving unit of these guys. And then here, this is my case for my Copics here. I'll open it up for you. Kind of have them in color order. Anything that's Copic related, these are tips, refills, just they're in color order. Here's some stuff for like shading, which I don't really know how to do because I'm not a professional at this. And yeah, that's how I have it. I'm currently looking for a way to store these out in the open. To store them out in the open, but to have them so if they are out in the open, then I could take them with me anytime I want to travel somewhere. So I'm still kind of currently looking for that situation. And then next what we'll do is I'll talk about the middle of the desk and then we'll go over to the other side. So now we're going to talk about the desk and the storage under the desk. We'll talk about the top of it more when we're done with the video. But so basically the desk here, under it is a bunch of storage. I have things like a paper cutter. This is a box of stuff that I don't know where to put stuff yet. So it's just kind of chilling under the desk. This is a plate holder that I got from IKEA, but I don't know what to do with it yet. I was thinking about putting my Misties in this, but I don't know if I want them out in the open. So I just have it chilling here. And then under here, there's some storage. I do have some empty containers under glass shelves here. I added these glass shelves to make it more of like a shelving system or drawers. So this is just a bunch of my Lawn Fawn dies, and then I do have a container here for like giveaway stuff that I'll be doing one day soon when I have time to do it. So be on the lookout for this on the YouTube channel. Once I get all settled in, then I'll start giving things away as prizes, you know, because I need more viewers. So how do you get more viewers? You give them stuff. So yeah, we'll go along the side here. Basically, there's more storage over on this side. I do have containers that house all my cards, or most of my cards. These are the cards that are on my online shop for sale. So that's those here. And then these guys are cards that are not on the shop. I've just made, and they haven't either made it on the shop or I don't plan to put it on there. These are design team cards that I've finished and completed, and they're in here. And they just haven't been placed in envelopes yet. So these are like two of my most recent ones that I did, and I just haven't placed them in envelopes or anything like that. Then along the bottom here, this is just empty containers because I don't have anything to put in them yet, which is perfect because when I need more room, I'll have it. Down here, these are magazine holders that are empty because I don't have anything to put them in, put anything in them right now. One thing I do not like about these, and I'll just let you know, so just in case you're thinking about getting these from IKEA, they're not all the same size. So when you go to put these in a unit, they fit inside each other. But if you're trying to get them to be side by side, like in a Calyx unit or somewhere that it fits perfectly, the problem is that, like, for example, if you're trying to put 8.5 by 11 paper in here with a sleeve, it fits perfectly in this one because it's tall enough, but this one is too short and then it like kind of bends over the paper. So just kind of think about that before you purchase these. I did use them for 5 years and decided just, I'll show you in a little bit, to go with the different version that are all the same size. It was cheaper too. So I do have these guys. I'll probably end up putting them on Facebook Marketplace or something and trying to get rid of them and sell them or whatever the case may be. But until then, they're sitting in an empty space until I need that space. Here is some more shelving units. This one has something on the other side. We'll get to that. But like the reason I decided to put the glass shelves here and to use these baskets because it makes it look like a drawer. So you kind of just like pull it out and you can fit 2 of these in one Calyx unit space. So in this, I just have a lot of my my slimline die stuff. I just haven't put them in envelopes yet. They're just chilling here. I kind of want to keep these separate because they're usually bigger and they require more space. And also I just haven't figured out a system for this yet. And then here I have all my Honeybee stamp stuff. You know, I'm on their design team for YouTube. So this is some of their stuff. I just have it here so that it's ready and ready to go. Fun fact, I dropped all this on the floor and now it's all mixed up and I have no idea where things go here. So I need to go back through this, which is really aggravating, but. And then here is the super secret box. This is the new Honeybee Stamps release that's coming out next week. And I have cards that I've made in here and I would really like to show you some of it, but I can't because it's against the rules. Okay, and then we'll come along the side here. There's more storage on this side. Basically, what I have here, these are like all my sequins and embellishments. Don't judge me, there's a lot here. There's stuff that I haven't put away yet. Then there's a bunch of shiny, a bunch of more shiny, and even more shiny. So it's ridiculous. You don't need this much. Just don't do it. All right, here we go. Then, you know, as a crafter, as a person, paper crafter, you got to have 5 billion black inks. So this is my container of black inks. There's a couple other colors in here that aren't black, but example, this is the fade out ink from Ink on 3. We have VersaFine Clear. We have black ink from Ink on 3. Memento. There's all kinds of different versions of black ink mostly in here. Alcohol lift ink, actually that should go over here when we get over there. So there's, I just don't want to put these on this shelf because it's all black ink and it's not pretty. So, you know, you have to be, you know, you have to think about the look of the room, honestly. And then next under here, we have my paper cutters of, you know, like 5,000 paper cutters. I have this one. Both of these are Tim Holtz. They're smaller. This one does the bigger paper that I have. This one usually does the smaller if I need it in a video. I do have a paper cutter you probably saw hanging on the wall over there. And then there's another paper cutter on the other side of this desk that you probably saw as well. I don't know why I have 5,000 paper cutters when I only really use 2, but whatever. The next thing here is my die cutting machine, my Gemini Junior. This is mainly what I use when I'm making videos because it's right here. It's easy to use. I store the plates on the side and it's just kind of there. I do have underneath here, well, this is the stool that I use. I got it from IKEA. Mainly when I'm working at the desk, I'm usually standing, but sometimes there's times where I want to sit down. Like if I'm editing videos, I'll want to sit down to do that. So that's what this guy is for. And it actually goes all the way down to the floor. So if for some reason I was at a smaller desk or shorter desk, I could use that. We'll stick this behind here for now. Also, you may see on the sides here, which I need to refinish, it's a little dirty, messy right now because I used to have magnets here that would hold my dies, but it never held the dies. I'm not for sure what I was doing wrong. So I ripped it all off, and now I just have to kind of sand this down and repaint it. I was thinking about maybe putting some, maybe like some vinyl or something to cover it up, but we shall see. And then under here, this is my other die cutting machine that I have. I have a total of 4 die cutting machines. Ridiculous, you only need one, but companies give me things and then I buy things that are like kind of on a discount. So, you know, that's how they end up here and end up getting to be in this room. I do like this one because it is a fold up. I'll show you guys. It is a fold up die cutting machine. I can just pull it up here, open it up, and it has the big plates. So I can do a lot of cuts at one time with this. So I'll use this every now and then, especially if I'm doing like whole sheets of like, let's say layering flowers, or if I need to do a whole sheet, 8.5 and 11 of just all like die cuts, I'll use this machine because it's just easier to do it all in one swoop. And then I just keep that down here for easy storage. All right. So to continue on the bottom of the desk, we have just down here is just my extra liquid adhesives, my dot runners and things like that. There's nothing really I need to pull out. And then this is just some extra stuff that I have that I tend to give away to my friend Melinda. It's a Card Knock Life on Instagram. She's my spirit mom, so I tend to get things and pack it off and send it to her. So next we'll go over to the Alex units here. These are 2 Alex units that are from IKEA. I packed them on top or stacked them on top of each other. Don't do that because they tell you not to do that, but I had to because I needed it and I don't have children, so it's fine. No one else is going to be in here. I know how to handle this. On top of the Alex units, I have my Swatch Books here. This is pretty much just inks. I got it from here. I got this idea from Corin Wiskman, who I believe got it from someone else, and who got it from someone else. It's like a whole thing. Well, the books are like Corin Wiskman, and then this concept is like Jennifer McGuire. It's a whole mix of everybody, and I have them in here. Then in these 2 guys here, these are all my stencils. I have them in books here, and as you can see, there's some that have not even been stored yet. I just have them kind of company order, not really order, but by company. And they're in these little protective sheets. I do 2 on each side, gets the most amount of room, and easy to use. So that's what these guys are. Stick these guys back up here. Here is just my extra scissors, brushes, things that I use every now and then, but just decided to keep it there. Okay, a lot of this stuff here is what I use to reach for when I'm making cards. I kind of want to have it as close as possible to me so I can just grab it, get it, use it, put it away. One thing that I wanted to work on while having this new craft room is always keeping it clean and always having a place for everything, so I just don't throw something on the side and then forget about it, and then the next month it's a huge pile and I'm anxious and I can't really deal with it and I'm going crazy. So that's what this is for. So the top drawer here has all my acrylic blocks. Oopsie. All my acrylic blocks, my Misties. I have a couple here. I have a Stamparatus. The cleaning for the Misties, like Gina K acrylic blocks, all kinds of things here. Then in the next drawer, I have adhesives that are not glue. So it's like tape, 3M foam tape, dots, 2-sided adhesive strips. The next drawer is liquid glues, tools. I have this here, so when I'm using this, I can just pull it out on the desk and use it there. Or I can keep this open while I'm working and just keep it like that. This is a dirty towel with glue all over it. These are liquid adhesives, glue dot runners. I have them in a little container so I can pull it out if I need to. And then back here is just extras of all the different kinds of glues that I have. More towels. Here's my Tim Holtz scissors that are in the container. Haven't used them. Need to. We'll lay this bad boy back down. And this one is my Distress inks. This is all die cutting plates, extra plates that I have here. This is my little die cutting machine. I use this a lot. My rulers, also some water bottles for when I need to do some techniques with the Distress inks or the Distress Oxide inks, or if I'm using watercolors. The next one here is all heat embossing stuff. So it's my embossing powders, my embossing ink pads. This is a butter dish, but it has my stamp chamois in it. I do have a miniature vacuum cleaner to put on my desk because I don't know about you guys, but embossing powder, the texture of it drives me insane. I hate touching it. I hate it being on anything because it just feels, ooh, can't take it. So yeah, and then I have my, like my stamps for when I'm sending out a card. I have those down here, like with my address and all that great stuff. Probably shouldn't have showed that because someone will pause it and try to come kidnap me in my craft room. The next drawer here is all alcohol ink stuff. So that's where this goes. It was over with the black inks, but we're just gonna stick that here. These are all alcohol inks, ink refills, cubes that I have extras of that I don't need, or not that I don't need, but I haven't used them yet because there's other ones that I've been using. The next drawer is just things like enamel dots, ribbon, stickers, all kinds of stuff. I need to go through and actually probably purge some of this, which I did do a big purge lately. Pretty soon you'll see a video on some raffling that I'm going to do of boxes of things. So make sure you know, keep an eye out. Let's move this guy over here real quick. Here is like fun foam, extra filters. This is my labeler. This here is a box for my alcohol inks. It's kind of like an air machine so that I can use that. And then down here is just an extra label machine. Some of the electronic payment stuff that I have if I go to a fair or like an art thing and people want to buy my cards, I have a way of charging them for it. I do have a light board for if I want to trace. And then down here is just a bunch of foiling stuff that I don't ever do because I'm intimidated by it. I'm trying to get back into it. But it's just like tubes of foiling here. Then in the very bottom is just my laminator, some tools. This is what I use to take my photos and my cards in. It's kind of like a light tint, and I prop it up on my desk and I use that. There's a hair dryer for alcohol inks. There's an extra dryer for heat embossing. Currently, my heat emboss gun is here on the side. This is the bad boy that I use. And yeah, that's about everything that's on this side of the desk and on this room. Okay, now we're gonna start with the big unit here. This is a Calyx unit. I have two 1x4s, and then the bottom lower portion is a 3x4 that I've placed on the side instead of standing, or it being vertical, it's horizontal. The reason I did this originally is because over here I was gonna have my die cutting machine and stuff, but I decided that I wanted to display my inks instead. So, you know, this die cutting machine's here, I have one down here, over there, so I'll just move around. So what we'll do is we'll just go through this and I'll show you a few things, and you know, I don't know how much you really want to see, but so I got these gray containers. They were on clearance at IKEA. They're no longer going to be selling them, but I thought they would be perfect for my pre-cut cardstocks, my pre-cut card bases. So basically, this top drawer here is just my white cardstock. This is what I use for doing all my coloring, any kind of die cutting or stamping or anything I do on this. I just have them pre-cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I do have some black cardstock here. You guys know I'm like the king of a black border on cards, so I have a bunch of that, and then I have some I haven't cut up yet because, well, I'm lazy and I have no time. The second one here is card bases. I just have different versions, like a, what's this? Like a, I forget what they call this, portrait, I don't know. Anyway, horizontal, vertical, we'll just call it that. So I have those cut here. Top folding card is what they call this. Then in the bottom shelf here is just like scrap paper that I've cut. This is actually from cutting inserts for my envelopes for the stamps. And then this is just extra watercolor paper that I have cut, Yupo paper, just different kinds of paper that I wouldn't normally store with this. I have it in here because I haven't really taken it out yet. Alongside of these, I have some Yupo paper on this side here. And then I also have a paper pad that has all my photo taking backgrounds that I usually tend to use. I don't use all of them, but I just keep those stored on the side. The next shelf is some of the card kits that I have not used yet. This is by Stamp Anything. I have about 6 of them, and they're basically, they just come in a kit, and they have all the stamps, dies, stencils, all the stuff that would take to make cards from this. I just haven't separated since everything goes together and they're already kind of like in their own storage system. So I decided just to keep them in the box until I actually go to use them or make the cards or deplete what's in here. And then I'll just go ahead and put those, rotate them into my regular stamps. But I have about 6 of them that I still need to use. Also in here are my Acrylograph pens from Archer and Olive. I use these in my bullet journal. They're basically acrylic pens, and I have those stored here. And then this is a set of 5 that came with a kit that they had. Below that is just empty containers. I don't have anything in there, which is awesome. I do have 2 kind of like sketchbooks here. I've used these before to sketch out my cards before I actually make them. I got that from Christina Warner, actually. Although I haven't really used this a lot. Sometimes I use my iPad instead because it's electronic and it's easy and it doesn't take up a lot of room. And then I also have my little wood circle here that I take my photos on. Behind here is my glass mat that I use. I normally have this out when I'm not filming, but when I'm filming, I don't really use this because there's so much glare from the lights on the desk that I'll show you here in a little bit, that I tend not to use that while filming. And then this box, although it says 12 by 12 paper, it's actually more stamps, ink for ink pens. I do like fountain pens, so there's a bunch of different inks here. I should have showed you my fountain pen collection. Maybe I'll do that on the other side. It's on the card over there. Then down here, this is all washi tape. You guys, it's ridiculous. You don't need this much. It's full of washi tape. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like Sweet Stamp Shop, I was on their design team, so I was able to pretty much get every single washi tape they ever had. This is empty. So I need to use this more and get rid of it. So be on the lookout if I do get rid of it. Here is just extra paper. This is like Nina Solar White. There's another brand here that I use that's from, I got from Amazon. I can't think of the name right now. Is it in here? Oh yeah. Accent Opal, I believe it's called. It's from International Paper. It's just as good as Nina Solar White. It's actually whiter than Nina Solar White. and it's cheaper, but it still works with Copics. It does everything else that Nina Solar White does. I just have a bunch of it. So when I switch over, this is all Nina here also. And then this container is just a bunch of Michael's paper. It's the paper that I use to put the backings into the envelopes for the stamp sets. I don't want to pay a lot of money for that, so I use their versions of it. Here is my Altenew inks and different inks that I don't have storage for or don't have room for. I love these inks. The Altenew stamp pads are great. And here, these are just kits that I have not worked on or used. There's some extra stamps in there. And then empty. These are glitter paste, so different kinds of glitter paste to use for stencils. This is also glitter paste, I believe. Yeah. This is empty. No, these are cards that people have sent me that I will be displaying in my room. And then this box here contains all the envelopes that I use to store stamps in. The magnet sheets and all that great stuff is in here. All the boring stuff of crafting. Here is all watercolor stuff. So this is watercolor here, watercolors, brushes. Then in here is some more watercolor, some acrylic paint, paint brushes, just everything you need to do some painting with. All right. Then here, this is actually 12 by 12 paper, I promise. This right here is my envelope station. This is what I use to send out or match my envelopes with the cards. I did this like a shelving system, and I'll show you this. There's only 2 here, but these are all my colored envelopes. But if for some reason I did decide to get more envelopes, I could totally just push this back, put this one here, and then I would have enough room for 2 more of these of envelopes. Right now I don't need that, so I'm just keeping them here. This gray guy here I'm using for different types of basically cardstocks, mainly scraps. These aren't really scraps, but they're small, so I try to keep those here. And then this is also the same. These are some scraps that I have left over that I could possibly make like stars and hearts and ferns and whatever from it. I can just use the paper that's here. And then down here is empty, and I'll probably use this for maybe like for white paper or something. I don't know. Just plenty of room. Down here is all the electronics for the room. So it's like microphones, battery chargers, phone cases, cables for the TV. Anything that's electronics goes into this bin. I'll probably end up having to have another one here because this is full already. And then down here are just card making magazines, some finished bullet journals from a couple years ago, and then just some different watercoloring books and how to draw and things like that. And then here is all the different papers that I have. You don't need this amount of paper. I've collected it over years. I've given away a lot of it, but it's still kind of a lot. But you kind of need it because you never know. You don't need this much, but you do need variety is what I really should say. On this shelf here, I just have a bunch of my journals from Archer and Olive. I love these books. I love these journals. They're great for bullet journaling. I also have one for my workouts, so I take it with me to the gym so I can record all my workouts, weightlifting and things like that. Let me see. I want to show you one that's open already. So for example, this is a square one. It's an 8x8 journal. It's a really pretty color. And it's really thick paper. It's solid white. It's great with ink pens, or I'm sorry, fountain pens. It's good with markers, watercolor. You can do acrylic painting in these. A lot of people do a lot of great things, and you should check out bullet journals on Instagram because people are amazing at this. But yeah, I have a bunch of these notebooks. It's ridiculous. I don't know why. It's a problem. These are the notebooks, and then I have packs of paper that I have not separated in individual colors, mainly because I just don't feel like it, and it's kind of not a need because I have plenty of color. These are different kinds of notebooks, mixed media. There's some watercolor here. Let's see. Bristol, which is really good for ink blending. Then we have some specialty papers here, which is basically kind of like glitter paper, mirror cardstock, things like that. I try to keep this separate from the other colors, and I know where to reach for it. And then basically we have the rainbow order here when it comes to paper. I have these stored in sleeves. Learned this by Jennifer McGuire. So you just put them in a protection sleeve with a label to tell you what company and what color it is. And then what I was explaining to you guys earlier is for the magazine holders that I was using, the metal ones, they weren't working out here, and some of the paper was getting bent because the smaller magazine holder wasn't big enough. So what I decided to do is just go with the El Cheapos here from IKEA, and they're just white cardboard ones. It's 99 cents for 5 of them. Is like, you can't go wrong, or $1.99 maybe, something around there. It fits perfect, it's sturdy enough, they're so packed close in the cube that you don't have to worry about them ripping or anything like that, so they're kind of just perfect for the paper. And then just on the other side of this paper is just more Arch and Olive notebooks. Oh, and then behind here, I just have a few things on top. It's just notebook pads that I don't have anywhere to put. And then over here is just more books. And then I did add some plants to the room. You can see this vine, and then we'll go across the room and you can see, you'll probably see it in actually previous footage. You've probably seen the plants, but I added those because I needed a little bit of extra and green and lively in here because I'm in here a lot. I want to be able to enjoy it and be peaceful. And then here is all my stamp pads that I have. This is all Lawn Fawn. These are Distress Oxide inks, and these are Concord and Ninth. I do have Stampin' Up pads. I do not have them here because I'm not for sure if I'm keeping them. And and I have like 60 of them, so there's really not enough room for them up here unless I go up, and I'm not ready to do that yet. I do have some artwork displayed here. This is like my prized possession. My friend Adam gave this to me. It's Mariah Carey's Christmas album that's been signed by her. So she's in the middle, she's perfect. I have to have her there. And then we have blending brushes here that I use for the different inks. I use these for all kinds of inks. I don't separate them like some people do. I've never had an issue with mixing different kinds of ink, so it works for me. I just clean them off like with a towel before I go to another ink cube or a different style of ink. And then there is some artwork hung around. I did previously, there was a bunch of pictures and things, but I had this room repainted, and it's hard for me to actually want to put another nail hole in this room. So I'm trying to limit myself on what I hang up. And so that's why this big picture is here, because I have not decided to put it on a wall yet. And then what we can do, I guess we'll talk about the desk, the recording stuff here really quick. This is actually a monitor stand that's been converted to something that holds a camera, and it basically just has a camera chute on the back that screws into the arm. I did actually have this in the middle over here, but what was happening is when I was editing videos, or if I was trying to watch something on the TV, this was in the way and I couldn't really handle it. So I moved it over to the side. And as you can see, this does not reach over all the way into the middle of the desk. So when I am recording, all I do is just move this over to be in the center of where it's being recorded. And then I take these lights and I bring them down here, and so that you can see what I'm doing. That's about the easiest way I know how to do it. I am looking for ways to do like multi-angle shots and having multiple cameras going at the same time that I'm doing videos. So, you know, be on the lookout out for that when I get a chance. My friend Kevin that's behind the camera is probably gonna have to help me with that. Let's see, I think that's about it for the craft room. I wanna thank you guys so much for joining me in this little venture. I know you guys waited for about 5 years to get this. I'm happy that it's complete. I love this room. It makes me feel happy. I just come in here and sit because it makes me happy. And if you guys have any questions on any of the storages or ask me, you know, why I do things a certain way, I'd be more than happy to answer that for you in a future video, or I can just respond to your comments below. Thank you again. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Head over to Instagram and follow me over there. I have a lot of inspiration. And I hope that you guys enjoy the room, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Also, please remember to like and subscribe to this channel, and also click the links below to follow me on other social media platforms. I hope